Today in the headlines, Anthropic gets voice mode, Meta splits its AI team, and much, much more. Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. Kicking off today with some new feature news, Anthropic has released their long-awaited voice mode. Now, the feature itself isn't all that interesting. It allows users to speak to Claude and receive audio responses. Claude's voice is pretty easy to listen to, it doesn't sound too robotic, but it also doesn't go in the other direction to add vocal tics in an attempt to pass as human. There are 5 different voice options if you don't happen to like the British accented default. Maybe more interesting is how Anthropic is presenting the feature. Their launch video demonstrates how to use Claude as an agentic voice assistant. The user asks Claude to check on her schedule in the morning by accessing her calendar, and then email a coworker to prepare some materials for the first meeting of the day. Now, there are, of course, a ton of different ways to use voice mode. If you are a regular ChatGPT user, you will probably have already found some. But it is interesting that Anthropic is pushing this sort of vision of it as a step closer to a full assistant. It is worth noting that voice mode is a little hungry on the usage limits. Anthropic says that free users can expect 20 to 30 conversations. In addition to that, tool use features like accessing a calendar or email are only available to paid subscribers. On launch, the feature is also only available through the Claude app rather than through the web interface or API. So will this push people to use Claude instead of other options? Or is this just table stakes now? In either case, glad to see this feature available and excited to play around with it. Meanwhile, over at Meta, that company is splitting their AI division in 2 in hopes of accelerating their efforts in the AI race. Axios reports based on an internal memo sent yesterday that the Gen AI division will now be divided into an AI products team and an AGI foundations unit. The AI products team will be led by Connor Hayes, who is currently the VP of Gen AI. This team will have ownership of Meta AI, AI Studio, along with all in-app tools. The AGI foundations unit will be co-led by Ahmad Al-Daleh and Amir Frankel, who will work on bigger picture efforts including improving the foundation Llama models. The Fundamental AI Research, or FAIR Lab, will continue to be an entirely separate division, although one team working on multimedia will move to the AGI Foundations unit. The restructuring memo was sent by Chief Product Officer Chris Cox, who's taken an increasingly important role in setting the course for Meta's AI strategy. Axios reports that no executives are leaving as part of the restructuring, nor are any jobs being cut. However, Meta is moving across some key leaders from other parts of the company. Business Insider recently reported that Meta had experienced a brain drain to faster-moving open-source AI companies like Mistral, with Axios writing, Meta hopes that splitting a single large organization into smaller teams will speed product development and give the company more flexibility as it adds additional technical leaders. A direct quote from Cox's memo said, "Our new structure aims to give each org more ownership while making explicit team dependencies." According to the information, the restructuring will mean more than 24 leaders have responsibility for various parts of the company's AI strategy. For the last 6 months, the narrative has very much been Meta in panic. Even before that, though, back in 2023, we saw one reorg of AI at Meta, with the Llama project removed from the FAIR Lab and put into the hands of the then newly formed Gen AI team. Interestingly, this new restructuring seems to be going in the complete opposite direction of Google, who late last year consolidated most of its AI teams under DeepMind, ensuring that product teams work directly with the research division. CEO Sundar Pichai even emphasized this strategy at last week's Google I/O conference, with the core theme being about bringing AI from research to reality, their words. Still, it's not insane to me why Meta would take this move. If you're trying to move fast, organizational bloat can be one of the big killers. So maybe by having smaller, more nimble efforts, they'll be able to move more quickly. Ultimately, it's very hard to know what's going on exactly inside companies. And what is absolutely true is that when push comes to shove, all that will matter is how well the changes work. Lastly today, OpenAI is exploring ways for users to sign into third-party apps using their ChatGPT account. Yesterday, the company put out an expression of interest looking for developers interested in integrating these features into their own apps. The form contemplates partnering with apps with as few as 1,000 users, right up to those with user bases over 100 million. OpenAI was also interested in knowing how the apps charge for their AI features and whether they're using OpenAI APIs. Earlier this month, OpenAI launched a preview of the feature for developers through the Codex CLI. They offered free API credits to incentivize developers to connect their ChatGPT accounts to their API accounts. This could be a very simple attempt to get more accurate user data, weeding out the double counting, but most think that this is about something far larger. Nick Dobos posted, "Bigger deal than people are realizing. Sign in with ChatGPT is about to be everywhere." Now, so far, signing in with an existing account has been mostly the domain of the tech giants. The bargain is a convenient credential management, for app developers in exchange for basic user data. Sam Altman is certainly interested in this angle. In fact, he's been talking about sign-in with OpenAI as a feature since at least late 2023. His WorldCoin crypto project is also about unified credentialing based on biometrics. But this also could be an even bigger play. Jonas Tempelstein writes, has original Facebook platform vibes. Bring your API token, bring your GPTs, bring your memories, bring your tools, etc. Something to watch for sure, but for now, that is going to do it for today's AI Daily Brief Headlines edition. Next up, the main episode.